Hey guys, is Austin back with another YouTube video? I just wanted to first start by saying that I personally apologize that this display is coming so late. Lately I've been dealing with having to get adapted to a brand new job, and I kind of the same old song and dance from about last year and such when I just got back into redoing some of the stuff on my channel. But this time I ended up getting offered a job that was a lot more substantial for my future, and it's really just overall in terms of my future and my career outlook, I just think it's probably about the best offer I've gotten, and it's just taken me a few weeks to get used to it. So that's why there's been a bit of a pause in any kind of notice or news about the display. But two, as you can probably see from the original pan, there is one big 20-foot elephant in the room that we're going to get to. I'll probably save it for the very end just so I can get to what's currently in the display. But enough of all that out of the way, let me get right to it. Finally managed to get a white spotlight on the end of the flag this year. This white Jimmy spot LED spotlight has really done the trick with this one, especially since it looks a lot better than putting red on the back of it than any other color. First new for 2025 addition to the patriotic display is I got the Jolly Jiggler 10-foot air, I guess the best way I could say it, air dancer Uncle Sam from Walmart. It is a Jimmy product, which I was actually kind of surprised that this year. I'd think that this was a 2024 release, but I never noticed it on Walmart's website till this year. I will say there are a few complaints that I will say I have with this one. I think the first and foremost thing, which you probably all can tell, it does not have a light in it. And I had seen that some YouTubers had unboxed the Jolly Jiggler Santa Claus from a few years ago that Home Depot, I believe, sold, and it had a light in it. And the thing that kind of frustrated me a bit is that this one was advertised to have a light in it, and I don't know if it was a prototype that Jimmy created, but only Walmart and maybe select retailers picked it up and that they just didn't put a light in it, or I'm not really exactly sure why it didn't come with a light, especially after it was advertised to have a light. But and the other thing I think that I will really just say right off is kind of a bit of a, I guess considering that I have another design that's similar to this, it's a bit of a head scratcher. It seems as though whenever this thing, depending on the trajectory that it blows at, it'll turn around on its fan, and I don't really understand because I staked it and it was facing straight ways looking at the road, but as it goes through its cycle or however long I decide to leave it plugged up, it'll just meticulously just turn around in a circle, and it'll happen every few minutes within an hour. But as of right now, he's facing a little bit to, I guess, the left looking this way, or the right, I guess. But he is a pretty good add to the display overall. I am glad that Jimmy did make a new patriotic design, but I definitely wish as though they could have gave it a light, because I think that would definitely help the way it's visible from the yard. But all in all, not too bad. Next new for 2025 pickup for this year's display is the 3.8 feet tall Patriotic Snoopy. I did manage to pick this up off of Walmart. This is one that I kind of wanted to pick up last year, but also with as much as I spent last year, I just didn't have that much money at the end of the season to put into one extra one. But I am glad I picked this one up this year, especially since even though I didn't really plan it well this year in the display to pair it with my little dog inflatable, at least I do have this one now where I can kind of pair it with my dog inflatable in the future. But definitely am glad I do have this one. I personally prefer it to the other one where he's not wearing his little like Uncle Sam's vest. I mean, pretty much they're exactly the same inflatable, but there's another model of this one that has like, I think he's just wearing the Uncle Sam hat and has the American flag here in his hand. But this one does have the Uncle Sam vest, which I really do like that touch. And I figure, it gives him a bit more personality, and it definitely shows more patriotism, I guess is the best way I could say it. But overall, I am glad to finally have this guy on my display. In full disclosure, this is being filmed a little bit before like pitch black dark. I just got out here because I got to get up for work in the morning, but otherwise this would be a clearer resolution. But I might do one more night video just to get this in a better view, especially if I can address the one big absence from my display, which we'll get to at the end of the video. The last new for 2025 pickup is one that I've also been kind of eyeing, just similar to the Snoopy. I saw this one last year on Yard Inflatables, and this was like one of the last air characters designs for the 4th of July, I guess, patriotic holiday set that I wanted to pick up. But I definitely was not expecting for it to have low quality LEDs and a cheap fan on it. I guess you can kind of say that I probably should have looked at the instructions and the description a little better. But however, I think as tall as this one is, this definitely ought to have a pull-out fan, because I mean it's just about the exact same height as my Patriotic Bear and about half, like I guess more than halfway up the side of the 10-foot tall Uncle Sam hat. So it kind of surprised me that this one actually did not have a pull-out fan, because generally when Yard Inflatables releases a new air characters design, if it stands between 6 feet and 10 feet tall, usually it'll have a pull-out fan. So that was kind of a bit of a, I guess, a bamboozling moment on their part towards me. But of course, like I said, I could have been a whole lot more astute and looked at the description of the product. But overall, I do like this design. Definitely think it pays nice homage to the Jimmy version of this. Just would prefer it to have C7s and a better fan. But overall, not too bad. He might be a little crooked and light on his feet because we were having to carry a package in earlier and we tripped over one of his tethers. So I might have to double check and see if that one's been secured properly. But It looks like it's getting a little bit darker now. Okay, now that I've got all the display shown to you guys, I did want to address, like I said, as you all might be able to tell, the 20-foot tall Airflow's Uncle Sam. I had him out the first week and a half or 2 weeks of the display whenever I put it out back at the beginning of June. But unfortunately, after last season, he got a rip in the middle of his pants. And while at the time it did not affect him adversely, this year I noticed when it got top heavy and it would rain, due to the placement of where the hole was, and I think just due to how wide the hole was, he would lose too much air. And I mean, he's already kind of at a design disadvantage just having those low voltage cheap fans that we all know Airflows likes to put on their inflatables. So as of now, like I said, I'm going to have at minimum one more video, potentially two more, just because I feel as though it's an incomplete display without him in it. Because, I mean, he's like pretty much my headlining attraction of my display, and it pained me to do this video without him in it. But where I'm going out of town this weekend on a trip, I just felt as though I did need to get something out, because I didn't want to, let this go by and there not be any activity on my channel, because I feel like I've kind of let my subscribers down a little bit just by the fact that I had kind of teased a Easter display back during the off season, but unfortunately just due to time and my work, it just never could get around to doing it. Plus the financial side wasn't there to make that happen. And then two, my winter display kind of fell below my high standard that I try to hold myself to, so that unfortunately wasn't documented on video either. It was basically just a skeleton of my Christmas display, and it had most of the same designs that I'd had in the Christmas display, minus obviously the Santa Claus, the Grinch, and all the IP-based stuff. But other than that, that's all I'll say for in terms of like some of the stuff that I put in my community post. Likewise, you may have also noticed that the Uncle Sam Archway did also not remake an appearance this year. For that, I'm going to say, well, I'll be completely honest. Unfortunately, I've lost it in storage, and because I've just bought so many different inflatables from Halloween and Christmas last year, when I was sifting through all my stock, like my stockpile of inflatables and decorations, I just have not been able to locate it. And unfortunately, I'd say that it's not going to be making an appearance this year, especially with the current layout that I have for this year's display. So I can confirm that the Uncle Sam Archway will not be coming in this display. Hopefully 2026 it'll be making a return, but I'll have to go back through all my storage and see if I can re-examine and find that. And then also for my 4-shape projector that's similar to my 8-shape that's currently over here on my center wall, after Christmas last year, I had an exposed wire on the end of it where the cord connected to the actual projector head. So unfortunately, it started sparking and creating a bit of a smoke. Like, I wouldn't say like a lit flame, but more or less just like a smoke, because it was like shorting and such when I plug it to active power. So I figured it was too much of an electrical risk. So unfortunately, I had to scrap that projector, and sadly, I lost a lot of unique and very rare slideshow slides out of it. So I'm hoping that eventually one day I can track down another 4-shape similar to it. I don't know if Cool Fawn, the company on Amazon who makes them, still has them or not. But like I said, that did also come as a bit of a disappointment to me that I couldn't use that one this year and give my wall on the other side a bit more personality. But likewise, I feel as though the display did turn out pretty decently. I am happy with my new designs that I did pick up this year, and also look forward to next year hopefully stringing it all together more as a collective whole, just because I would like to have one more projector, and then obviously hopefully before the end of this year I will be able to sort out the 20-foot Uncle Sam. But until then, that is all. Comment, like, and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys on the day view next.